This is a tour of the Dello. This is a tour of the Dello Insights data dashboard software, and this will show you what we've built and where it is. So we go to a system that is in a different tab, which I'm just going to get to. So we use a front-end piece of software called Good Data. What we do is we bring all the information off the database, clean it in the warehouse, create the data model, and then create the views that you're seeing. So just for your information, when you log on to the demo data, we've got a dashboard here around key measures and various other ones underneath it. And over here, we've got some tabs that allow us to manage who's got access to the site. The data tab just brings in the data model so you can understand how it looks. And this is what took us the longest, because obviously it's a very complicated model to build, as you'll see when you get there. But basically we had to relate all the information together and then sequentially put it in all these links across and organise what the product keys were between the tables, whether every field was alphanumeric or a numeric field and so on. So it took quite a while to do that. Once we've got the data model working, we then use the Analyze tab. And this is where we can then define the different kind of charts and data that you want to see, whether it's pie charts, numbers or headlines. This is the more of the fun part, and then bring in the information we want. And then the final stage is really assembling the dashboards. For the dashboards, we chose to do 6 for this one, so 10. One is the key measures, the kind of overview. As you enter the software, what would you really like to see about your data? Then we broke down revenue, products, customers, did some checks on the data quality, and then finally did a Christmas sales planner. And within all of these reports, you can actually click over here and you can export them as PDF files. So you can actually create a PDF file of any of these pages, and you can also email them. So every week we send out these different dashboards to our retailers who are using them. So that's where you look at the key measures. Obviously there's some headline figures here, date range we picked, what the total revenue was, what the orders were, refund rates, average order values, refund values. Then went down, look at the revenue in more detail, volume and value of orders each month, what the average daily revenue looks by the weeks, who are the best selling products, what categories they came from, the overall things, what the product stock's looking like, where the customers are located, were they new or returning customers, were there any issues with the data quality, and that was all we had on that one. We can then go into the more details. So if you want to look at the revenue breakdown, this has got more information on it. We could have put everything on one dashboard to make a huge dashboard, or we could have had 10 dashboards with 2 pieces of information each. It's kind of subjective how much you need to see. But when we want to look at the key trends, the first thing we went for, where did they come from? Were they eBay customers, from the checkout, from the admin? And the blue one's actually Amazon. And you can select here. So if you just want to pick the people that use the checkout, you just pick those, because often there's differences between people depending on the channel they came to. You can look at the number of products per order to understand if there's more people buying multiple products or not within a particular period, average order values by month. This is quite interesting, breaking down the groups, so how many people order between 0 to £20, 20 to 40, and how that's changing over time. That's a good one to pick. There's a weekly revenue comparison, refund rates. Again, we always do the refund rate by the date that the refund was issued, rather than the date the refund happened, rather the date the product was ordered, rather than the date the refund happened. So here in November 21, there's a spike, which is probably the Black Friday weekend, and we can kind of see that there. Then in January it looks low, whereas actually what would have happened is if we took all the presents bought in November and December that got returned in January, that would have chosen a much higher refund rate. We hadn't put that correction on it. We also look at the discount coupons, see who's buying what coupons are being used, where they are. I think that was a Black Friday promotion, that one. We look at what shipping methods, what payment methods are most popular. Because obviously if you've got more people paying, say if you implement Klarna, which is quite popular at the moment, you can then see what proportion of people are actually using it. All of this you can search again, you can put these things up here, whether you pick the order coupon codes, what kind of shipping method or payment method the customer wants. When you go into the products, this can be quite detailed because it's got all the products. So if you've got a big product range, you'll see a lot of information all together. So the trick with the products is to sort them either by brand or by the category you want to look at, or go down to the name, and then you start getting the value behind it. Or you can look at the stock status, see who's in stock, who's out of stock. You have to put category name and primary category, because often you might have a category and then a primary category that sits above that. So you might have 4 or 5 different categories within one overall category. That's quite a nice one to look at. Again, this wasn't a very big data set. It's only got 85 products on it because it's sample one, not very much stock. It's not very highly valued either. But as soon as you break down the products, you can see where they're coming from by the different product categories, what brand was most popular. That's too detailed, those two. Again, you look at individual products, see what's sold this month, And if we've got the data there, you'd see what sold last time, what the difference is between the two, the number of products that have been out of stock, how long they've been out of stock for. Look at the stock status there to understand what's happening to your stock, how many items are in stock, low stock or out of stock. More things around the value of the stock to the value of the sales that you're making, checking that's looking okay. New products, again, we can look at how many days an item's been live for, the days of the first sale, how many sales have been made, refunds, refund rates. If you want to look at the product refund rates, again, there's individual products this time, so you can understand what products get returned a lot and how many products have got a high refund rate, which will obviously be of concern to a retailer. We've also got the product ratings sitting over here for the reviewed ones. And I've also taken the product margins. So if you know the sale price and then the cost of goods, you can work out the margins. That's a bit more detail on the tables that sit beneath it. When we go on to look at customers, there's two things that are really interesting. The first one is whether these customers are new or returning customers, which all goes down to all this registration. Are they guests? Are they new? Are they guests or not? Are they new ones? That's not the same thing. How many customers we've added in the last year? Amazon to the not Amazon percentage of returning customers. Again, we can see it's quite a big difference there. Where the customers are located, what coupons they're using to come to the site. Data quality is quite a nice one because when you're entering products individually, it's often quite easy to miss information. So as well as checking if the system's working, if there's any problems there with a card code or something like that, you can also see where you missed off the brand, the cost of goods, what primary category and category you put the items in, and anything else you want to check. So you're absolutely sure that the tags say are the right tags and that you've got everything you want to. The last dashboard, this is quite an individual one. This is Christmas Sales Planner. So all we did for this one was take the last two periods of Christmas sales. We picked, it's 2021, the 1st of November to the 22nd of December, which is the last postage date. And we just put some information out about that specifically. So you could compare, for example, the product category sold over the Christmas period to the overall period, where the refund rate was higher, where the revenue, what dates in the month they got the highest revenue, how many products they ordered, what the refund rates looked like. And in fact, actually Black Friday wasn't so much of a spike as you'd expect. Best-selling products, products by revenue, all that kind of thing, all fed through, margins by group. And that is the tour of the dashboard complete. So returning to this information, the last thing I'd like to say is that if you'd like a tour or a private demo, just let me know. The information's here on this slide here, how to watch more clips and then to get in touch and get your demo. Thank you.